the 2K Sports pregame show.
NBA regular season opener for a couple of teams. Thank you all for tuning in. So happy you're here. I'm ecstatic that you're here. And I'm really happy that Kenny and Shaq are here,
I
too.
miss you too, Ernie.
Thank you. Me too. We'll watch the visiting squad as they go up against the home team. Taking a look at this home squad, the lift they'll get by starting this season at home is sure to be a big one. No team needs help getting up for the first game of the season. But there's something about opening on your home court that gives you that little extra oomph of energy. After a brisk off-season, it's finally upon.
Hey, back with another one, but I got up another.
2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
Tell them sit down.
Welcome, everybody, to the day we've all been looking forward to. The start of a new NBA season on 2K Sports. Hi, everyone. I'm Kevin Harlan, along with Greg Anthony, Brett Barry, and our sideline reporter, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. And joining us in the booth for tonight's game, the incredibly talented Kobe Bryant. Kobe, thanks for once again joining us.
No, thank you, man. Thank you for letting me be a part of the team.
We've got the visiting team facing the home team. Kobe, a big part of the talent evaluation today is the psychological impact in that aspect, which I think will lead teams toward one prospect over another. But just how are the nuances and the attention to detail important to make that play work?
Well, it's really important, but the screen roll today is run differently than it was, say, when screen roll action, where it makes rotations very difficult because you have to rotate off of shooters at a distance.
Right.
So now what you tend to see more teams try to down pick it about having the split and going home now and having 3 games at home, thinking that the series was not going to come back to L.A. And so that was an interesting playing fight for us, and then to go out and get the very next game, just to go down 3-2, coming as the Celtics. I get it better than that.
Nash, the pass to Horford. There it is. It's Nash picking up the assists. And with the all
before or fast forward to the fourth quarter, I mean, it's so easy now.
And he uses the glass on the layup. So last season, Kobe, one of the close.
Yeah, I didn't even stop to think about that because they're both like little brothers to me. So even though I could... Oh, wow.
Hello.
It's a beautiful jam.
Oh, he is a highlight reel unto...
For Defensive Player of the Year, and they're almost always big men. You were a 9-time first-team all-defensive selection in the NBA. Do you think guards sometimes get overlooked at the impact they have in a game and a play?
Yeah, they definitely do. Some players will call themselves competitive, but you're not truly competitive if you only compete at one end of the floor. That's not what true competitive people do.
Ginobili, solid shot from the distance of about 14 feet.
You can attack off a triple threat. You know, he's built the game without any weaknesses. I think most players, should be thankful that he's not 6'6".
You're right. He'd be Kobe Bryant. Then, right? He'd be Kobe Bryant. But I always thought that, and his dad played big-time college basketball, played in all. Used to do it, and I know you.
Oscar used to do it quite a bit. So I try to use bits and pieces from each, depending on the defender that I'm facing. But yeah, there's certain players that are carrying that shot now. LeBron shoots the fadeaway quite often, as does KD. He shoots it a lot.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Screen by Scoa. That's good from Ginobili on the assist by Barbosa. Ginobili to a lot of things as well. You were not an absent parent.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's having a great partner. I mean, my wife has been absolutely amazing, which I think is extremely important as well. Because she really held down the fort at home, which to me is the toughest job in the world to happen to me.
And I don't know that it'll happen again. The way the league is structured now, money, the free agency, even though you had a chance to leave a couple times, you always chose to stay.
Right on top of the shooter.
Some defenses are okay with giving up the mid-range shot. In this case, they contested.
There we go. Now in the scoring column with that make, he is 1 for 4.
and they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
Ginobili dishes to Barbosa. Back to Ginobili. Launches it. Good on the triple. Ginobili's got 10 points. They've got Horford. Anthony Bennett is out there with Andrew Wiggins. Then there's Murray. And it's Joseph in at the 1. Here's Wiggins. And Wiggins throws it down.
Oh, and he went for the two-hander on the slam using some muscle.
Some urgency.
Well, I think it was a shocking experience for them because I don't think they realized how much I talk trash. So, yeah, I don't think they knew because, when you from a distance, it's just, they're getting really ticked off. But then,
because you were right.
Yeah, but then the intensity of practice goes up another level. And then we'd all go out to dinner, and then the next morning, years, and I left no stone unturned. So there's no regrets there. I've done everything I could possibly do. And truthfully, the game is still with me. The discipline has changed. The industry might have changed. The same approach, the same things that I've learned from the game, I carry with me to this day. So the game is still inside me.
He gets a chance now to catch up with the 4th member of
Become great and test yourself as a player. Kevin?
Well, David Thompson, certainly a mentally strong player. Always nice to have someone you can rely on night in and night out. Wiggins drives in, and Wiggins throws it down.
Sensational pass by Horford on that play. Terrific job whipping the ball over to the open man.
Film, what are you looking at? And I'll tell you. I'll take a look at it, and I'll tell you what I see, and then you can go from there.
Right now, I think just his demeanor is hurting the team. His shooting's been off, and he knows it.
That one falls.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior. And one thing,
force.
Nash kicks to Towns. Good in the assist to Nash. And that's now 19 position-based and more of a skill, position-less game. Perimeter skill now seems to be at a premium. Do you agree with that? Do you like that? Would you change that?
Well, social media is much different than it would have been years ago. In other words, nowadays, for athletes to be on social media, now you're ready to move on. It's a lot like life. People say stuff all the time that they don't necessarily mean, right?
I never felt, though, that you ever said anything that you truly did not believe in your heart.
Yeah, well, I think most people do, right?
It's going to happen, and you just can't let it get into your head. It's a shot that you want to take.
Outside, Ginobili sinks it. What range from outside. Wow. Ginobili's got 16 points.
And until Friday.
They set the screen. Screen by Scola. Three-pointer, Heel. That falls. Nice feed that time for Manu Ginobili. That's now 8 points for Buddy Hield.
Now Hield has a beautiful release on his shot right there. Just barely off of his fingertips and buttery soft.
And the first half comes to a close. We've got a close game going on here. The home team, they lead by 3. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Karl, they made a run there at the end. How did that happen?
We didn't do a good job of closing the half. We got to contain them from not making shots. We just got to do a better job.
We'll see if you can do that. Thanks, Karl. Back to you, Kevin.
Okay, David, much appreciated. And now time for halftime. So we'll be back in just a bit to get the third quarter underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here with Shaq and Kenny, and a favorite time of the year as we're halfway through one of the first games of this fresh NBA season. Some incredible work in this game by Manu Ginobili. He had 16 points, 2 steals, and 5 assists. In their previous game, he had a performance he said he wanted to put behind him quickly, and so far he's doing just that with a nice first half he had here. How about you, Kenny? What did you think about this home team?
Well, their reserves showed up tonight, not just on hustle plays, but in points. And that's what you got to do, coming off the bench to maximize your minutes.
Shaq, let's get your insight on the visiting team.
Well, a lot of their points came in transition. They dictated the pace of the game. It was a fast pace. Put the defense back on its heels. I say keep attacking the second half. Do not slow down.
That about wraps it up. Time now for the second half of the game. We go to Kevin Harlan for the call.
Buckets yet in the game for him. Scola out there with Mo Harkless. Then there's Nene. Then there's J.J. Barea. And it's Ginobili in at the shooting guard. Brent, when you... Basket is good, and they'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Man, sharp here to start the half. That's 3 in a row.
Well, Towns does so many things on the floor. Already an elite post scorer. But, Greg, one area that he has struggled with at times is his defense against other bigs.
And I think he'll continue doing what he does best, putting points on the board.
His instincts naturally are to score the basketball. That ability to find the creases in the defense is something you just don't teach, and it's awesome.
Screen by Scola. Ginobili kicks to Nene. Barea with a wide open look. Good on the triple. Barea's got 8 points.
And they're getting their...
Towns the screen. Nash with no one around. And it's good. He planted his feet on the pick and shielded the defender off.
And usually teams...
To the left wing. Screen by Scola. Ginobili gets a wide open look. Sinks it. What range from outside. Wow.
Right there for Buddy Hield allows him to get that shot off. You just can't give him that kind of space or he's going to hurt you.
Back to Murray. Lets it go from deep. Sinks the triple.
That screen made it impossible for the defense to put up any kind of fight.
Butter with a screen on Wiggins. Here's Hield. Wiggins with the block. And here we go. Fast break. Wiggins has got it. Field goal number 9. He's 9 of 12 with that basket.
There's
Verajao setting the pick for Barbosa. Floats one. Wiggins with the block. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Wiggins.
Didn't think it was a bad choice on that possession.
Wiggins tried. Oh!
He's going to put that one in his scrapbook. Insane dunk.
And now they're starting to rub it in. Build up a lead. Hield from outside. Again, Hield missing.
And they hold a huge advantage on the backboard.
Wiggins dishes to Thompson. And it's Thompson with the jam.
Not easy to prevent Tristan Thompson from scoring in that position. Got to try to body him up.
To end the drought. Fouled in the act of shooting. A 3-point play chance coming up.
The mindset of Verajao, very appropriate. Get inside, get close, get points.
And he's got his first chance at the line here.
Looking back to last season, he was at about 73%.
Splitter with a screen on Wiggins. Here's Hield. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. Hield's got 12.
And assist to Splitter maybe, Kevin? What a great screen, creating that space.
And so it's the visiting team with their lead standing at 6 points here at the end of the quarter. Their lead is where it is because they've gotten good shots. A lot of good shots. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. Nash drives in, lays it up and banks it in.
And they're passing the ball there.
The ball really well in this game, 58%. Here's Bennett. And he's fouled on the shot. One free throw coming up.
Yeah, these defenders just look a bit overmatched, especially inside.
That's his first personal foul.
May gone 0-3 to start the fourth quarter. In the corner, it's Ginobili. Sinks the triple. Ginobili's got 22 with the steal. Now here's Bennett. He's covered closely. And there's Ennis on the assist by Bennett. Brent, as we're becoming a more positionless league.
Thanks, Kevin. Well, the head coach of the home team had some words for the team during the break, and he was emphatic. He said, we are not going to win this game playing this way, fellas. You've got to step it up.
They put the security system on their house, protecting the paint there.
Here's Wiggins, and he lays it straight in. Wiggins has got 27 points. Plenty of space. Almost, but it rolls out.
Well, after an impressive first half, he's just not been able to get the room or get anything going here in the second.
Yep, that one goes.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic.
Got here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Yeah, this is a terrible start for him, and it has to be weighing on him.
Here's Wiggins.
Just increasing their advantage, and right now they're in a zone on both ends.
Love their strap.
Nothing's working right now to stop the bleeding.
I still think there's a chance you string a couple of big plays together and the tide can turn very quickly.
Yeah, that's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
If you ever did decide to go into coaching, Brent, would you also like to be the general manager to ensure you have the players do you really want to coach?
Well, I'd also like a new car and a Learjet, Kevin, if I could, but not committing turnovers.
And now we've got a moment for our Jordan player of the game, Andrew Wiggins.
And what an amazing ball game we've seen from him. It's been a one-man show worth the price of admission all by itself. There wasn't anything he couldn't do on that court tonight.
Well, to come in here facing a hostile crowd and have a game like he's had, that's what separates the good players from the great players.
And a lot of times the role player is a conduit between both ends of the spectrum of your team. He can communicate with the star player. He can also talk to the guy who's the 12th man on the bench and make sure.
A resounding victory for them. And Greg in enemy territory, no less.
That's exactly right. But with the way they controlled the game and just completely took the crowd out of it, that's how to get it done on the road.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Al. You guys do it as a five-man unit on the floor. How did you come together for this win?
Just taking good shots on offense, trying to, getting stops on defense. We challenged every shot. We just played hard tonight.
Great effort and a big win, Al. Congrats. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. And that about does it for the first game of the new NBA season. For Brent Barry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.